Hello everyone, this is Traveling Things with Profe Gayu, and this is my first official video. So with this channel, I'm going to talk about a lot of things dealing with travel, dealing with culture, dealing with current issues, not just within the US, but more so on a global scale, from an international global perspective. So point of this channel is basically I'm a global citizen, and I really want to ensure that I want to be able to share, educate, share that global perspective, but most importantly from someone who's, black, from the US, and has done a lot of traveling, and who's also lived abroad as well. So I want to just be able to give that perspective within a long range of issues that will come up in the future. But for this particular video, I want to talk about something in particular that I see often, not just on YouTube, not just in popular culture, but just everywhere in daily life, just talking to folks. And I feel like a lot of folks, not just folks that, within the US that don't travel, but also folks in other countries too, have an unclear idea of what is black, or what does it mean to be black. For example, if you were to ask someone, possibly ask a person from the US, one might say being black is being African American. Another might say being black is your skin complexion. Like myself, if you're not my complexion, then you're not black. Some may say that. You go to another country, there's different ideas of what being black is. In one country, it may be just having cultural ties to Africa, or just having cultural ties to things that are considered black. There's just a long range of explanations of what black is. And I ask this because a lot of folks, they only see being black as depending on where you're from. For example, I was just talking to one of my buddies, and it kept coming up to him in a conversation where he was making a clear distinction between black people and the Dominican Republic, and Dominicans. But when he spoke of Haitians, he spoke of Haitians as Haitians are synonymous with being black, but being Dominican was not synonymous with being black. And I asked that because he would say, well, black people come to black people are treated a certain way in Dominican Republic. This is just his opinion. However, he says it as if black people aren't in the Dominican Republic. Like the Dominican Republic isn't a black country, because the Dominican Republic is a black country. And for those who have been there will see that. Just like if you've been to Jamaica or the Bahamas or Cuba, you will see that those countries are black countries. Yeah, you may have the majority of people in power may be white. I mean, you could say the same thing about South Africa. South Africa is a black country, but those who are in power are white. But it doesn't mean it's not a black country, majority black country, who has strong ties to, African ancestry or African traditions or African culture. I mean, that is what South Africa is. That is also what you'll find in places like Cuba or Haiti, and also the Dominican Republic. So I think it's very important that, you know, us as black folk, we don't differentiate ourselves from other black folks and say, okay, I'm black, but you're not black because you don't have my complexion. Or I'm black because I'm from the US and I'm black, but you're from, you know, you're from Brazil, or you're from Cuba, or you're from South Africa. That's not really black. That's like something else. Like, let's not do that. Let's not separate ourselves from other black people, because we all part of the African diaspora. We all, you know, whether we came over to the Americas, our ancestors came over to the Americas on the slave ship in bondage, or whether we came through, you know, immigration, or whether we are from the motherland. You know, we should not separate ourselves from this whole being black, where you're black but you're not that black, or you're not this kind of black. Let's not do that. Let's not separate ourselves. And the one big thing in the conversation we had is, why do black people, when they travel, how come they don't travel? Black people from the U.S., how come they do not travel to Africa? And I mean, that's a great question. Why not? Me personally, I can give many reasons why. Yes, a lot of black folks in the U.S. do not travel abroad, and those that do, many do not travel. And I just throwing it out there, I could probably say the majority do not travel to Africa. Where do they travel? They travel to places that are close by, maybe to the Caribbean because, you know, it's cheaper and it's closer. Maybe to places like Mexico or Canada because they're just right over the border. But not necessarily to Africa, because you know what, you may find some good deals, but Africa is far, and it costs quite a bit of money to travel over there too. And also, you know, being in the U.S., many of us here, we're used to having some, you know, a certain level of amenities and comfort, and you know, development or cultural, you know, being accustomed to Western culture. That's what we are. Where the U.S. is a Western civilization. But if you were to go to, you know, many countries in Africa, you know, you're stepping away, you know, from Western civilization, and you're stepping away to, you know, more developing countries or poor countries or countries that aren't very developed. And I think that for most people that travel, not just black folks, but most people that travel, they want to relax, they want to enjoy, and they want to go somewhere where that development, that foundation is already set, and they can just go and enjoy themselves. And I understand that, but I also think that, you know, we should all branch out and consider traveling to, not just to, you know, countries that are close by, but also travel to Africa too. But that's the motherland. That's where, you know, it all comes from. That's where the human race was created, and that's where black folks came from. And there's a lot to see there. A lot to see there. But one other thing that came up in the conversation was yeah, black people, especially black men, want to travel to Latin countries, but they don't want to travel to Africa. Implying that, you know, traveling to Latin countries is I guess a way, you know, to imply that why not travel to black countries? Well, you know that being Latin, or Latinx, I should say, being Latinx is not necessarily non-black. I mean, you have Latinx culture. Latinx culture could be a mixture of, you know,